You're listening to For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation.
Hello there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation. It is Andrew and Donovan back here once again for episode 99 of For the Republic, a love letter to Star Wars animation. We are one away, guys, one away from the big 100.
Did I hear you say 99, Andrew?
Oh, shit. Hold on. Where is it?
99, eh? Oh, nice touch.
There we go.
Nice touch.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
But real quickly off the top, because we have a lot to talk about in this episode. We are, of course, talking about Lego Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past. The second season of Rebuild the Galaxy dropped last week, so we're going to talk about that. And we also had 2 trailers drop, and we haven't really gotten to talk about the Starfighter production just yet, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But the big news on our end is we finally, after 3 years, hit really our biggest milestone on YouTube so far, which is we hit 100 subscribers. So thank you very much, which means this will be happening. After our 100th episode, we will be doing streams for Caravan of Courage and the Battle of Endor. I don't know
Sound the
yet.
victory music.
Yeah, if we're going to get Victory Celebration playing. I don't know when yet. We're going to discuss that. October is a busy month for me, so it'll probably be later in the month if I had to guess, or early November when we do the first one at least. But you can look forward to that, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart. Some bigger channels are going to look at that and be like, I get that in 5 minutes. That's nothing. But for these smaller channels, little milestones like this are big and going a long way. And just, I've already noticed, like, our growth is getting faster even after we hit this milestone. It's like once you hit something, things start picking up. And I've been really invested in trying to maximize all of our different socials. I'm posting more on TikTok, on Instagram, making more shorts off of our episodes. And that's actually helped quite a bit. The Hondo one I made and the we crashed the ship your way both did really well. So I'm glad you guys liked those.
Profitable.
Oh man, I'm so sad you couldn't be there for that.
Oh, me too, man. I wanted to be there. I wanted to gush about like the generational like cycle of like freaking Seven Samurai and how it keeps repeating. I mean, I watched the Magnificent Seven for the first time earlier in the week, and it was like it's so cool to see the patterns like just recur. But as you were,
yeah. I said to Connor, I was trying to watch Seven Samurai before that episode. I saw it was 4 hours, and I was like, I'm not gonna have time to watch that.
That's the length of the Snyder Cut. Jesus.
Yeah. You're not wrong. So again,
but it has less Jared Leto, so that's probably a good thing.
You know, that's very true. If there was Jared Leto in that one, I'd be very concerned. But we'll talk more about this. Oh no, everything looks so promising except that. We'll go into more detail next week, but I just want to say thank you. And now let's talk some Star Wars. First off, I just want to say, hasn't been Disney's best couple of weeks. As you will notice, this shirt I'm wearing is very apropos if you're watching on video. Hasn't been Disney's best week because they did this little thing. They caved to fascism, and then people reacted with their wallets. And they said, you know what? About this fascism thing, let's not do that anymore. So, of course, if you don't know what we're talking about, but you're like, why are you talking about politics in my Star Wars? Clearly, you didn't watch Andor. And it's necessary to talk about this because it has been a insane few weeks in my neck of the woods. I'm not going to go into huge detail about the big thing that happened because I don't think that's necessary for this discussion. But pretty much Disney caved to the FCC and the administration's demands regarding Jimmy Kimmel. and we were like, this is an attack on free speech, and they ended up reversing course about 6 days later. I was just kind of shocked that happened so quickly. Like, I was kind of like, when we going into the weekend and we heard the discussions that the two sides were having, I was like, okay, I feel like this is going to get resolved. They're just going to wait 2-3 weeks and let it blow over a little bit, and then they're going to bring him back. But then it happened like 6 days after the fact. Like I think the suspension happened Wednesday and it was reversed on Monday. So I was like, okay, cool. And I'm glad that happened, because the Mando and Grogu trailer dropped that Monday, and I was like, I can't really be that excited about this right now because I'm really upset at Disney still. And then they reversed course later that day, so I'm like, okay, a little bit of the guilt is gone. We can talk about this stuff guilt-free now. But since you just kind of been watching this from the background, what did you have to say about all this going on right now?
So much really, but I'll keep it very brief. Basically, that I completely agree with you that it was an attack on free speech. I think what the FCC was ruling was completely ludicrous, and I think it's very telling that it just goes to show what the effects of an actual backlash have. I'm going to kind of quote something Movie Bob said over on Blue Sky when he said, it must annoy all of the dude bro grifters on YouTube that they spend years just piling these hate campaigns on the likes of Star Wars, Marvel, etc. for all of this diverse casting and stuff. It took a few days of Jimmy Kimmel getting suspended for audiences to, like you said, vote with their wallets, cancel their Disney Plus subscriptions, and Disney suddenly oh yeah, we need to kind of reverse course here.
And it wasn't just people on the left; it was people on the right too that were like, "Hey, fuck Jimmy Kimmel," but dude can say what he wants to say. That's what free speech is. And the people that were like, "Oh, well, what about Roseanne? What about Tucker Carlson?" One, Tucker Carlson was fired by Fox News. Tucker Carlson wasn't fired by some left-wing conspiracy. They made the decision to fire him. Also, he's doing quite well right now, so I wouldn't say he's canceled. Two, there's a difference between someone and like Gina Carano too. We don't say that name around here, but there's a difference between, hey, someone getting fired because of tweets they made by their employer, and the federal government saying, hey, fire this person or we're going to strip your broadcasting licenses. That's an attack on free speach. That's the extreme difference there. And exactly. And
I mean, literally, the Andor was it Dan Gilroy who spoke about this and said he will not work with Disney if they refuse to reverse this decision. It's very, I mean, again, Andor, not to get again into the past few weeks and just how horrific things have been in certain respects, but Andor gets more and more relevant with the
we
past
literally have state representatives quoting Andor in tweets. And I'm like, that's great and all. Can you do something a little bit more than that besides just tweeting? But that's the world
we are all Mon
right
Mothma at this moment right now.
Exactly. Needed to talk about that just right off the bat. And also, I do want to say I did this with the little mini trailer review I did earlier in the week. But I'm going to do it for all episodes going forward. I'm going to be putting a link in the episode to donate to the Trevor Project. Because right now, LGBTQ people that are suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts really need our help more than ever right now, with the constant daily attacks on them and their rights, and claiming that there's some type of violent extremist group, which is just not true. And even if you want to point to one or two examples, that is a blip on the radar. It's literally trans people represent 0.1% of the population in the United States. So again, they need our support more than anything. We always have strived to be a welcoming place for everyone here in this community, and we want to actually represent that more than just saying that. We've had links to resources to help those that need it in our description for 3 years. I've been proud of that. We said right off the bat, when Roe v. Wade, when that got overturned, we said we're going to include these resources in every episode going forward. It's been almost 3 years, and we haven't missed it in one single episode. So I always strive on wanting to do more than just saying things. It's speaking things into a microphone, actually show that. So again, if you want to help out, you can link in the description There's a link in the description that you can help and donate in and look more into just a really great nonprofit that I'm in total support of. But now let's talk about Mando and Grogu. The first teaser trailer dropped, and as I said in my little trailer thoughts that I did earlier in the week, this is a teaser trailer in every sense of the word to me. I had fun with it. It did really nothing to move the needle for my excitement for the movie. I know based on your reactions, I think you enjoyed it more than I did. But I walked in like, I don't know how excited I am for this. And I walked out like, I don't know how excited I am for this. But I will say it did look better visually than I was expecting. Because that was the one thing I was worried about. Because, again, it's hard to judge those clips we have seen at Celebration and D23 because we weren't actually there. We were just watching it from like a fan cam. But they looked kind of rough to me, in my opinion. So I was a little worried going in that this was going to look like a TV show budget on the big screen. And we've kind of seen, again, this is on a way smaller scale, but the Clone Wars movie doesn't look like a theatrical release at all. So I was worried it was going to be another one of those. But at least from the trailer, I have some problems with the color scheme. But the visuals, at least, like the AT-AT scene, looked a lot cooler than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But since you haven't been able to say anything about this trailer yet, what were your big thoughts on the Mando trailer?
Well, like I said on Twitter, like it might have just been because, like as we said earlier, like there were just the last few like months on that website have just been absolute hell, and just like you know, seeing that kind of stuff, it gets you down in a lot of ways. You know, you feel like a little powerless sometimes to like seeing the world kind of slide towards authoritarianism in some respects. But like seeing that trailer, it did admittedly put a smile on my face. It doesn't really have a lot in the way of plot, although there's enough there that I can sort of infer what the movie is about. I have a bit of a theory currently as to what the actual thrust of the plot is going to be, but you know, the visuals are all pretty neat as well. You know, it's more Mando, it's more Grogu. You know, I know some people aren't happy that he has the Razor Crest back. I'm kind of like shrug shoulders about it. What I was happy to see was that he has his pulse rifle back. That thing is awesome, and I'm like, if he's not going to have the Darksaber anymore, he should have the pulse rifle because that thing just rules. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff here. We got Zeb in action with his bow rifle. Yeah,
it was nice. Zeb got his own hallway scene.
Yes,
that was awesome.
My dude has to smash some Stormtrooper helmets together. We have to see it. We finally got like an HD look at Buff Rotter going, yes! Yeah, I think my theory is going to be true that it's just going to be Jeremy Allen White speaking like with the slightly modulated voice, but he's just going to be speaking basic, no Huttese for the most part. But yeah, it looks really good. I think they're keeping a lot reserved in terms of what is actually in the movie and what the movie is about. It's the same kind of tactic they employed for the Mandalorian shows, especially season 2, because there was a lot in season 2. You know, Ahsoka, Cobb Vanth, Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, Bo-Katan, all appearing from episode to episode, and none of it was in the trailers. They kept so much back. And it really worked because it made every episode feel like an event in a lot of ways. But yeah, also the poster I have to comment on.
The poster. Cool... I liked the poster more than the actual trailer itself. It was so cool.
Poster's really cool. It's got a really cool Western throwback vibe. I just love the look of it. It also revealed an interesting detail to me, which is what's forming the basis of my theory here, is that the Hutt twins from the Book of Boba Fett are on the cover. And so if you don't mind, I'm going to just kind of hit you here with the theory that I've got. So I like the way the plot is kind of developing here for me, because you also in the trailer you see a Hutt vault, a vault with the Hutt symbol on it. So it's clear that this film is going to go into the workings of the Hutt clan, and I think it's going to build off of the previous shows in an interesting way, because the way the galaxy's set up in the New Republic era, you know, you've got the New Republic scrambling to try and intercept all the different Imperial remnant threads causing chaos and stuff, you know. So you've got the precursor to the Resistance with a Delphi base, you know, and they're like these scrappy rebels who are trying to deal with the threats, but they're underfunded. They don't have enough resources, so they need people like Mando. You've got the Book of Boba Fett establishing how the Hutt twins are trying to seize parts of Jabba's empire. You've got Skeleton Crew showing how, and the Mandalorian season 3 showing how, in the absence of all of this, of the New Republic having a foothold in the galaxy, pirates and bounty hunters and criminal cartels are all like seizing territory and stuff. And even if you go by the comics, if you've read the comics, especially the Charles Soule run, you'll know that the Hutt clan was pretty much just consolidated to Jabba, but Darth Vader wiped out the entire Hutt Council. Yep. Yeah, except for Jabba, which was part of Jabba's plan. He wanted to consolidate all the Hutt Empire as resources for himself. So this is where my theory comes in as to why Rotta is important here. I think the Jabba will have a will of some kind that leaves the resources to Rotta, and the Hutt twins want to get rid of Rotta so they can have the resources. And because Rotta might be amenable to the New Republic want Mando to protect him so that they can have access to Rotta's resources. And then you can also, like, just to kind of make the conflict more clear cut, you could say that the Hutt twins want to work with the Imperial remnants. So that's why you've got Imperial remnants for Mando to fight here with Zeb. I just think it ties everything together in an interesting way. And it also, well, it makes sense to me. It gives like Rotta this kind of like, I don't know, maybe reluctant heir to the throne kind of storyline where, he's clearly, as a gladiator, he prefers getting in the fray and scrapping. He doesn't want to rule. He's a reluctant king, basically. And again, you could involve Boba Fett here. I would personally love to see Tamira Morrison
I would love to see it. I think he's said that he's not in this season, and I hope that's not true. I hope he's in here, because especially if it's linked to Jabba, and so much of Book of Boba Fett was about Boba Fett taking over his enterprise, it would make sense for Boba to be in here. I'm assuming we're going to have a lot of surprises, because Mando has always been that like toy box kind of Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Favreau and Filoni have talked about, and I feel like that on the big screen, you're going to have a few moments. Like they already had some fun creatures in here. One of the creatures from one of the Djarik boards showed up in live action, which is
the
really
Mantelian
cool.
Savrip. Like, okay, see, I didn't know that was the monster from the board, and my brother pointed it out to me, and I was like, you know what? That's such a Favreau thing to do. Like, Mando's gonna fight the big monster from the Djarik board, and it looks really cool. Like,
Say what you will about Mando season 3, and I can say a lot, but they gave us the fucking Mythosaur in live action, so like we can get anything in this movie. And I'm excited about that.
Mando season 3 for me was strongest when it was doing the week-to-week stuff. It struggled with the ongoing things because it was trying to compress probably like 2 seasons worth of Mandalore like stories into 1 season, plus a hypothetical spin-off with Rangers of the New Republic. Like, I get the sense if we had that show, we wouldn't have gotten the episode with the 2 ex-Imperials. Like, we just wouldn't have, because we would have had the other show to explore that. But I'm excited for where this is going, really. I think they're getting us back on course after season 3 like struggled to balance things. I think a really straightforward adventure narrative. I think it's gonna do really well. I was worried for it at the box office in terms of like it getting represented there, because it was releasing alongside Doomsday, and I was like, no, this is Solo all over again.
Yeah, it's happening again. I literally clenched my teeth when I saw that it was sticking with that. I'm like, no.
And that was before. And that was before they did the whole like live stream with the chairs, and we realized this is going to be an Avengers versus X-Men film.
Yeah, I was terrified. But now Star Wars' first movie in what's going to be almost 7 years by the time this comes out is going to have May virtually all to itself, which hopefully is going to be a good thing. I'm not expecting like breaking the box office numbers, but I think it'll do fairly well just based off of Grogu and the Mandalorian alone. Because
the Mando is such a popular show.
Yeah,
like
it is
even
so
season
popular.
3. even season 3, like with the way people talk about it online, you'd think no one watched it, barely anyone liked it. And then you actually look at the viewing figures that were released. It was the most watched streaming show of 2023, like over shows that were considered more popular. So it's like there is a massive audience for this thing because audiences have thoroughly embraced like Mando and Grogu as a pairing. So it just, I just think the film
their cash cow now. So it's going to bring in, it might bring in people that have never even seen a Star Wars movie in theaters before because hey, look, it's Baby Yoda. Let's go see that. And they should have a good time.
Baby.
I like that we have 2 lines of dialogue in the whole trailer. One is Mando saying something after Rada, and then one is that at the very end.
It's great little
end to the trailer there. And it's just wild that we have Sigourney Weaver in Star Wars. Like, we've known this was happening. But like, and I like that she reacts differently with Grogu than what we've seen with like Pelimoto and like Grief Karga. And I think she's going to be like this movie's version of Grief, like going to give the one that gives Mando his overall mission. And like Grogu tries to move something with the Force and she just stops it right then and there. So nice little
There's
hint
another
there
theory I have. So you know that the creature is, by the way, is a Mantelian Savrip, and there is the potential, like, because the arena they're at is on Ord Mantell, and Grogu would look like he might be eating Mantell mix. So there is a possibility, Andrew. I'm just saying, steel yourself.
I thought about this. I thought about this, and I was like, do I have to put a camera on myself during this movie just in case there's a small chance that a freaking Trandoshan voiced by Rhea Perlman shows up in this movie? Because someone said like, the Ord Mantell, and I was like, oh no. Like, I like that my mind doesn't go to the Bad Batch. Doesn't go to anything like that. Goes to... I'm terrified. Favreau would do it too, because Filoni would be like, we have this, existing thing on Ord Mantell, a little shady character Mando can do a job for.
Exactly, and we all know that Favreau collects 80s actors like Infinity Stones with this show, so it is a possibility. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm worried that you'll have. I'm worried that you're going to have the opposite reaction that everyone watching No Way Home had when Andrew Garfield came out of the portal and everyone was like, yay!
It's going to be me walking out of the theater is what it's going to be. They're like, why is that one dude so mad right now? Like, everyone's like, what is going on? And then there's just me dying. It reminds me of when I did see No Way Home, and I was the only one in the theater that reacted to Matt Murdock showing up, and that hurt me. That's going to be the reverse of that. I'm going to be the only one in the theater screaming at Sid when everyone else has no idea what's going on.
It's like it's very sincere. No rings out across the audience.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I hate that so much, but I think the bad part is I can see it happening, which I don't like. But again, there was very little in terms of story. There was very little in terms of who are. We know the Hutt twins are going to play a major role because they're on the poster. I don't think they're going to be our main villains. I think we're going to see someone else, whether that's an Imperial warlord, whether that's a certain hat-wearing bounty hunter that isn't Cad Bane has been hinted at. I'm interested.
Also might be a cameo appearance from
I think that
Grand
might
Admiral
be
Thrawn.
I think that might be like a before the last scene kind of thing where he shows up.
He has his Emperor moment. Yes.
Yeah. I overall, talking about it more has gotten me more excited for it. I will admit that. But I'm still like, beforehand I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Now I'm like, I still am like, I want to see the movie. I'm excited to see the movie. I'm not overly hyped for it yet because I just don't know enough. And I was like, hopefully this trailer doesn't moves me from this just feels like an extended episode of the show. And right now it feels to me like an extended episode of the show. I'm hoping that once we get another trailer and we really go balls to the wall with the marketing, when we get closer to the movie, I'm going to change my tune. And it's a Star Wars movie. So obviously I'm going to see it and I'm going to be excited and I should have a good time. And especially because we haven't had one since 2019. I feel like when we get into the few weeks beforehand, I'm going to be like, let's freaking go. Right now, I'm just like, it's happening. I'll watch it. We'll see.
I would like to close by adding that this is going to be another movie that's part of a spin-off series that releases after the end of a Star Wars trilogy that has Rotter the Hutt as both a character and a major plot point.
That's how you bring Star Wars back to the theater, guys.
Yeah.
Is you have Rotter the freaking Hutt. There,
like poetry, it rhymes.
Poetry, it rhymes. Literally, our first episode ever, we talked about Rotta's one of very few appearances, and now 98 episodes later, here we are talking about Rotta's next appearance in Star Wars.
Played by the guy from The Bear.
Yep, it's crazy. I would say we can have what's his name? The Thing back again.
Evan Moss Baccarat.
Yeah, but he got shot by Cassian Andor, so he's not coming back.
Justified.
For this one. Exactly. Real quickly, we can just talk about just to break these two up. Starfighter has officially entered production. This is coming out May 28th, 2027. As we know, Sean Levy is directing it. Ryan Gosling is starring. And this has only just been the most insane cast ever. Like, you want to talk about the opposite for Mando and Grogu. I am so insanely hyped about this movie just for the cast alone. Like, Ryan Gosling by itself, I'm like, this is my dream thing I've been talking about since 2018. Of course, I'm going to be excited. It's my favorite actor in a Star Wars project. Hell yeah, I'm all here for this. But then you have the cast. Matt Smith, Mia Goth, Aaron Pierre, Amy freaking Adams. Like,
Aaron Pierre
right now?
Being in a Star Wars film is awesome. I have seen Rebel Ridge. I love that film. He's so kick-ass in that movie. I'm so excited to see what kind of role he's got here. And yeah, you know what? I will definitely get to do a Who Watch now for Starfighter because we have a doctor actually in the movie. Matt Smith's finally getting his shot here to be in a Star Wars film. It's very cool.
I have kind of been saying this, and I was talking to Jake a couple days back, right after the Mando trailer dropped, and I was like, yes, that's the return to Star Wars on the big screen. This to me feels like the real, this is the new era of Star Wars on the big screen for me. Mando and Grogu kind of just feels like the finale or the last remnants of the primarily Disney Plus streaming era that we've had the last 5 years that's culminating in this big movie, and then Filoni's movie, obviously. But it's like timeline we haven't really explored, completely new story, completely new characters. You've got all these A-list stars. Mia Goth and and Matt Smith as the villains are just so great. I love the X trilogy, so I'm so excited for that. Matt Smith is obviously Matt Smith. I tweeted the freaking Morbius dance scene right after that news happened because, of course, that's where my brain goes. And he's finally actually in Star Wars because, as we know, he was supposed to be in Episode 9. The strong rumor is he was supposed to be a young Sheev Palpatine. Then he got cut from the movie. I don't even think he shot anything for it. But now he's actually in here. Aaron Pierre obviously is going to be in the Lantern show next year, which is very exciting. And then Flynn Gray is playing the young lead, who we know is going to be sharing the screen with Gosling. They tweeted those two pictures of Gosling on set, and then the other one, which looks like it's on the ocean, which is really cool, of him and Gosling.
Yeah.
So we know we're going to get a lot of varied sets.
We don't have a lot of ocean set pieces in Star Wars films, so that's going to be refreshing and kind of exciting. The last thing I'm going to say about the cast, by the way, is the fact that Simon Bird is here, and all the other British Star Wars fans I know are going, "Oh my god, it's Will from the In-Betweeners," and I'm sitting here as the one British guy, it seems, who didn't watch the In-Betweeners, going, "Yay!"
The one moment of British pop culture where we can't get your input.
Oh, he's all I will say about him is judging from his performance, his affect, he's totally voicing a droid. He's totally gonna play a droid.
That's what they love doing that for all these Brits. They throw a droid on them, and we'll do that.
David
Amy
Tennant,
Adams, though, that is just crazy. Like a lot of these, like Ryan Gosling, because for the longest time it was we can cast known names in Star Wars, but like the true A-list ones, you don't typically see that often. No. Now it's like, oh, look at all these names we have. And then you have Amy Adams, who is like a 4-time Oscar nominee. Ryan Gosling is one of the biggest stars in the world, still coming off of Barbie. He has Project Hail Mary next year, which looks really freaking cool. Again, I am so excited for this. And once we get deeper and deeper into like the point where we can see a trailer, which obviously we're nowhere near at this point because the development just started about 3 weeks ago, but so excited. And we haven't had the chance to talk about it since it started filming, but we just wanted to get that out of the way. This cast is insane. Cannot wait. It
really is.
And now we got another trailer to talk about. And again, this one, I don't think we're going to spend as much time as on the Mando one, just because it's just a lot of stuff thrown in our face. But Visions Volume 3. Oh my God, was this cool.
So much anime Star Wars goodness. It's so cool. Like I feel like this is going to be a repeat of us talking about 03 Clone Wars again, just pointing to that and going,
it's so cool.
It's like, this is really cool. The freaking arm thing that like turns into like 20 lightsabers. It's like that is like the most like badass, like crazy thing.
We literally have like
thing you want to see.
Mech suits out from a droid. Like
a Sailor Moon transformation sequence with a droid in the next wing.
Oh man, we know we're getting sequels to the Duel, the Village Bride, and the Ninth Jedi, which obviously I'm excited for. 2 of those are I think they're probably my 3 favorites from Volume 1. The Village Bride and the Ninth Jedi for certain are, and I am so excited for those. We also got some announcements for the voice cast. Which real quickly, I'll just point out a couple ones that stick out to me. The Song of Four Wings, which is the Project Studio Q one. Stephanie Hsu from Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to be voicing the lead character. We have Kimiko Glenn, who is returning from the Ninth Jedi. Freddie Highmore is also going to be in that one on the English dub. Let's see. Jodie Turner-Smith is in the Bounty Hunters short, so she is returning to Star Wars. That's
Mother has
really
returned to
cool.
be more mothering.
Mother has returned indeed. The dude from What We Do in the Shadows is in Yoko's Treasure. The show, not the movie. Steve Buscemi's in this? Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Steve Buscemi and George Takei as well.
Takei is in there?
And more Simu Liu. I believe he's returning from season 1 because he was in the Ninth Jedi.
Mark Strong is going to be in the Lost Ones, which is the Village Bride sequel. I love that dude. Insane. Jenny
so
Kwan,
good
who
in everything
voiced Suki in Avatar, is in a couple of these shorts, it looks like. I don't see Christopher Sean in the Lost Ones cast, which bums me out. So I don't think his character is returning. Let's see. I don't see anyone I recognize in the Smuggler off the top of my head. Birds of Paradise, George
is also there as well.
Yep. And then Black. Also, Black does not have an English voice cast listed here, so I wonder if that's going to be mainly silent. Just has a Japanese voice cast.
Karen Fukuhara is in the Lost Ones, which is really cool. I love her in the boys.
Didn't she voice F in the first one? I feel like she did.
Ryan Potter's also here from Big Hero 6. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Obviously had the chance to play Robin. Oh, and Emma Myers as well. That's who I was trying to find. Emma Myers from Wednesday and A Good Girl Strikes Murder.
Okay. I was like, that name looks familiar. So we've got some exciting. I know season 1 had, like I said, Simu Liu was in one of them. You had Henry Golding. You had, why am I forgetting? David Harbour was in one of those. So you had a lot of big names in season 1. I am probably going to watch both of these shorts with the English dub and the Japanese cast as well. I did that for most of Volume 1, I believe. I think first watch I watched the English dub, and then the second watch I watched the Japanese voice acting. I'll probably do the same here. Again, this you want to talk about Star Wars just doing whatever the hell they want. Visions is that in all of its wonderful glory. You have so much cool stuff here. The dual sequel looks insane. You had all the Ewoks in the dual art style, which was awesome. I just, oh man, like, what do you say besides it just looks really cool? Like, I don't know what else.
It looks so cool.
You got Star Wars teddy bear with a little microwave in his stomach. Like,
protect that little guy at all costs.
That bear at all costs. I believe, which one is that? Is that Yoko's treasure? I think it's that one. But so many of these, I am just so excited for. End of October, this drops, and October 29th. So we will, of course, be covering this. I want to try and do I don't know what yet, but I want to try and do something to talk about Volume 1 and Volume 2 at some point. Definitely Volume 1 before we get to Volume 3, because
like
that one was the anime-focused one. Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely going to try and rewatch Volume 1 like ahead of Volume 3, because like especially some of those episodes. And the Ninth Jedi, I remember, was so like interesting and felt like it could have a whole season about it. Funny how that works out.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, but like I love seeing this. This for me is in a lot of ways what the What If series for Marvel should have been, where it's letting these storytellers take this established franchise and just go wild with it. Just tell these visually like rich, like creatively like very creative and deeply interesting and very personal in some respects stories that just kind of like take the Star Wars kind of franchise in directions you wouldn't necessarily expect, like a Ronin Sith who has like a scabbard to contain his broken lightsaber blade. That's so cool and very creative. I need to read the Ronin novel before this comes out. I was supposed to when we finished talking about Celebration, and then I didn't. I read Catalyst instead. It's very good, but yeah. Visions, I've gotten more and more hyped for this season by season, and this is probably the most hyped I've been to see Visions
coming out of the ice is so cool. Oh man. And just I'm so excited. Obviously the Lost Ones, which is the Village Bride sequel, is the one that I'm the most excited for, because the Village Bride is my favorite from these Vision shorts we've had so far. But all of them have piqued my interest. And of course, we have the Ninth Jedi show coming out in 2026, which is going to be super cool to talk about, hopefully on a weekly basis. Hopefully they don't just dump it all at once. But I am very excited for this. And again, not much in terms of analysis when it comes to this trailer, because it's just cool shot after cool shot after cool shot. But hot damn, is this something that we are excited for?
It's so cool.
It is so cool. You can quote us on that, and we will be here to talk about it when this drops at the end of October. Visions Volume 3. Here we freaking go. So now we're almost there. We're almost at Pieces of the Past, but first, real quickly, we've got ourselves the Jedi Archives.
Possible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
This, of course, if you're new here, is our podcast Hall of Fame segment. What we do each week is we nominate something Star Wars adjacent, to get nominated into our Jedi Archives for the For Republic podcast. And you, that's right, you, the viewers and listeners, get to decide who goes into the archives every week. We'll put a Twitter poll shortly after this episode drops, and you can decide the winner. Real quick, last week, Don wasn't here. Didn't matter. He won anyways. David Cornsweet is the newest inductee into the Jedi Archives. And this was before the quote about him loving Jar Jar.
Yes.
So, Don, we decided that because of, we're talking about rebuilding.
I love this dude.
I know.
I was just going to build off what you said about, like, it's so cool to see him be such an enthusiastic fan of Star Wars. I have seen the Superman films since nominating him. It's really good. I really enjoyed But basically all I was going to just add is, you know, David, if by some astronomical like chance you see this episode and seen us induct you into our archives, maybe a podcast. Talk with us about how much of a Star Wars fan you are. I have a character I can pitch you that you should play.
We can only dream. But this week we decided because of Rebuild the Galaxy, we are going to be doing a Lego theme for our inductees. Don, since you won last week, what are you putting into the archives this week?
Well, this is actually going to be a nominee that has technically appeared in our episodes before, and that is going to be, since I'm going to be very on brand here, and I'm going to nominate the Dark Falcon Lego set because it's so freaking cool.
I think I lost.
I've loved this thing.
It is so cool. It had so many great moments where you can admire its beauty in these episodes. And I think I lost. But my nominee is from these shorts. I am nominating Pirate Queen Padme Amidala into the Jedi Archives because it was my absolute favorite part from these episodes. And I loved everything about. I loved the Naboo skiff, like Jabba's sail barges. Those were really cool. I just loved that Naboo became like a pirate world, and her crew was great. Having Cassian in there, having 3PO in there, it was so fun. And of course, getting to see the Skywalker family together on screen, albeit in a fun Lego way, was so awesome to see. So those are our nominations this week for the Jedi Archives. You can decide between the Dark Falcon and Queen Pirate Padme Amidala to go into our archives. That's right, you can decide who goes in. And now let's talk about these Lego specials. So we got 4 episodes of Pieces of the Past. We'll just kind of do a group discussion of all of these. We didn't get to cover season 1 when it happened because I took 6 months to watch it, but we did briefly talk about it a couple episodes back in our super late Best of 2024 episode. We both talked about it in the honorable mentions if you want to get a good gist of what we thought about that season. My overall thoughts on season 2, if I think they're calling it a season. Some people are calling it a second season. Disney Plus listed it as its own season, so I don't know. Either way, I had a lot of fun with this one. I personally liked it way more than the first season because if you remember my critique with at least the first 2 episodes, I really enjoyed the last 2, where it just felt like, hey, let's just say the thing that we see on screen kind of humor, like very Minecraft humor, like chicken jockey, like it was literally that, but Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ewok bounty hunters, rebel TIE fighters,
Jar Jar,
like that was the jokes for a while, and like it was really cool to see like Darth Ray, Darth Rose Tico, like all that stuff, and to see the weird hybrids that come with ruining this galaxy. Season 2, I felt like did it better. Misa gonna hurt you, sir.
Misa gonna do terrible things to you, sir. Terrible things.
I was going to say, I think what made season 2 stronger is it had a great villain to really bring things together, bring the 2 brothers together to fight Solitus, our villain, which one is voiced magnificently by Dan Stevens. Getting a talent like Dan Stevens to come in, voice this villain was great. And he just felt like a villain. Yes, his motive with the Force Hold and all that stuff makes perfect sense for a Lego special. But if you were to just plop him into a regular Star Wars series, I'd be like, yeah, this fits. Like if you were to create some weird Force dimension, it would work.
He felt genuinely menacing in a lot of respects, and I liked the little touch that when he attacks the this remixed Jedi Order, they have him fight Jedi Palpatine just to show how impressive he is as as a powerful Force user. And and again, I'm going to repeat what you said. I loved Dan Stevens' performance here. He's so grumpy. He's like grumpiest Sith Lord to ever exist, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like with his motivation and his whole plan involving the Force Hold and stripping all of the annoying things out of the galaxy that bug him. I mean, it probably means he's the most toxic Star Wars fan to inhabit the Star Wars galaxy. But B, it also kind of like parallels a lot. It's the closest I think these shows, these Lego specials that they've been doing for Star Wars have come to emulating the Lego movie, and it's like adjacent sequels and spin-offs. Because, like, I mean, even the animation in this feels like it's emulating the Lego film a lot more, like paying attention to the actual, like, Lego bricks and how they operate. Like, I love that the battle droids, when they move, they don't actually, like, walk step by step. They just hop forward. Like, even K2SO does that because the Lego droid legs are, like, one piece, so that you have to move them like that. It's just
if
little
they made this
like
a full-fledged, like, Disney Plus film, I think it would have worked, like, almost to the same
100%.
effect as the Lego movie.
100%. Especially with some of the like stuff that shows up here, because like you mentioned, all like the force hold and all the interesting things we encounter in there, like Jackson. I mean, I've always loved Jackson. I was so happy to see Ben Schwartz turn up and play him as like this.
You probably don't recognize me because I'm a real deep cut. I was like,
oh, so good. That's such a good line. And you got like here's also the giant Chewie as well. This guy was really cool.
I should have brought Brickhead's Ahsoka because I have it upstairs. I should have brought it for this recording.
You have Brickhead's Ahsoka? That's
I have Brickhead's. It's the only Brickheads I have, but I have that Brickhead's Ahsoka. We also did get Captain Cassian Andor in here. Real quick though,
it was like
this is my one critique. I am usually perfectly fine with all when you can't have the actors from the films return.
Yeah.
The sound alikes are usually good. Cassian's. You could use some work.
Like no shade to Andre Siglizzo, but I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't Diego Luna. You know,
I know. I was like, man.
If we're also going with like minor critiques, I'm also gonna like add on that like when the Jedi again and the various denizens are being sucked into the Force hold, when the escaped convict Yoda gets sucked in, he doesn't make the Yoda death noise from the Lego games. I was so disappointed. I was waiting for him to go
and then he didn't like 4 times in this. So
exactly. He just
and you told me about the mini kit Easter egg that I totally missed.
Oh, that was really cool. Those I mean, I felt like such a dopamine hit get my brain when I saw that thing, because you will know, Andrew,
a game
we have both
on these specials.
Yes, we need a whole game like traversing this new galaxy,
because you rebuild the galaxy style.
It makes you want to learn more about it, like some of the backstories and some of the like changing kind of like characters and stuff, like even if the sillier stuff like Maul being like this kind of like theater kid who loves to sing. It's so awesome. Awesome
is I can't even get into how much I love that. Like Sam Witwer,
so fabulous.
The range he has in that Maul voice is great.
Sam Witwer getting to do his best Hugh Jackman impression.
The one thing though, because Cameron Monaghan did come back for Cal, I didn't think it sounded like at first I was like, is this Cameron Monaghan? Like, because he did a different sounding voice, and they had all of Cal's dialogue of game puns because he's the video game character. It's like, oh like man, he did over.
He did the aliens joke, like game over, man.
Game over. I was like, oh man.
I also liked the Darth Revan cameo, and I love that they committed to not having him say a fucking thing, just to like
goodbye there. Perfect.
Darth Obi-Wan, like Darth Obi-Wan and Darth Revan being like roommates is just like, that's a great joke.
That's the sitcom right there.
It's like
I loved that we got more of the Dev's Sith apprentices in this one. Even though they were like kind of trapped for half of it. I love the fact that it was confirmed that was Darth Jyn Erso in that group, because I don't think they said it was for a while, and then they were like, go Darth Jyn Erso. I just love that that's how they described them. Like, go Darth Jyn Erso, Darth Kit Fisto. Darth Rose was great in this. And then Rey, of
Kelly Marie
course.
Tran just being utterly maniacal. I love it. And again, Helen Sadler, she's been voicing Rey in all these specials. She does a really good impression of Rey. Like she should do the voice for Rey in actual animation. I feel like she deserves to be held in the same regard as James Arnold Taylor, Matt Lanter, Ashley Eckstein.
like a sequel trilogy style like Clone Wars series, and they don't get like Daisy back for it, I would definitely have Helen Sadler voice Rey,
100%.
She's been great in the role since the Lego
Yeah.
Holiday Special.
Yeah.
You want to talk about sequel? Like there was Ben Solo showed up in the Force Hold, and I was a little upset that he didn't interact with the Skywalkers at all. He didn't really say anything, but you know, in this line, Leia gets with
Dude
Greedo.
got erased.
So, yeah.
Dude got erased because because Greedo showed up and charmed Leia. So there's no
one with no Han Solo in it, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
to think
yeah.
about.
Well, yeah, because he was a backstabbing son of a bitch in the first one, wasn't he? Because he was jealous of Greedo.
He was jealous of Greedo.
Greedo fans must be feel so like seen with those episodes that Greedo gets all the glory.
Can I just say,
Solo didn't.
I love the reveal. I think it was in the first or the second episode where it looks like the Jedi are like on this stealth mission, and then just cuts and they're just doing a surprise proposal for Leia and Greedo, and he pulls out this comically sized engagement ring.
Vader, stop breathing. You'll give us away. Also,
give us away.
Okay, this is the next thing I have to praise this for, because if there's one thing I loved about this series, it is the voice cast. I mean, obviously, you've got the original actors showing up for this, Gaten Matazzaro, and Tony Revolori. They're great. They're so entertaining.
Again, those are two characters where if they showed up in like regular animation, I would be totally okay with it.
Yeah, because like I've started watching Stranger Things in between season 1 and season 2 of this, so I appreciated Gaten Matazzaro's performance so much more in this sequel series. Like his comic timing is great. I love his enthusiasm. Like the bit where he interrupted the title crawl and like started hopping around on the words. I was like, oh, I like this. This is really creative. But you've also got like so many like seasoned Star Wars voice actors here. Like you've got the Clone Wars cast getting to come back. Hearing Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka again was cool. James Arnold Taylor, you know, like you said, the goodbye there was really fun. And you know that. You know, Mark Hamill obviously coming in and saying, "Oh, yay! Nothing tragic is going to happen to the Skywalker family." Skywalker group hug. It's hard not to. It's kind of a weirdly touching thing that in the background of this like crazy, like silly, like Lego Star Wars story, the Skywalkers are okay.
My favorite Luke line in this was right after when they like get together, like, oh, we're gonna have a Skywalker family vacation and maybe we'll make the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. I know it doesn't make sense scientifically, but it sounds cool. I just feel like that's cool. I feel like that's just something he said in the voice recording room, and they just kept it in.
They're like, you know what, Mark, you're riffing here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I just love that he's like, yeah, I'm not playing Luke anymore, but then he is in all of these Lego specials, and he's so fun in them.
He said the same thing about the Joker, and look where we are with the Joker. But you know, since we were talking about the cast, Andrew, you know, you flashed the graphic earlier, but I actually noticed a few people here who were a little familiar. So it is time. It's time for another episode of Who Watch, baby. And this is kind of a big deal in terms of cast members, because we do have a few actors who reprise their roles from the films. One of them is Naomi Aki, who voices Jedi Jana. And she has...
What a year she's having, by the way.
Blink Twice with Adria Arjona, fantastic, both of them in that. Getting to also do Mickey 17, the Thursday Murder Club. She's great. I'm so excited to see that she's getting her moment almost, and I really hope this translates towards them wanting to do more stuff with her in Star Wars, especially because her background is so exciting, and they barely do anything with it in Tross. But anyway, so she has been in an episode of Doctor Who. She was in the episode Face the Raven, which was part of Peter Capaldi's second season, and she also appeared alongside Letitia Wright, the current Black Panther in the MCU. But yeah. And I also Dan Stevens, since I'm talking about cast members, Dan Stevens also did a Big Finish production for Doctor Who as well. So that's like a more minor thing, really. But yeah, we have a main Star Wars cast member who has been in Doctor Who officially, and we. Yeah, that was just really neat. This whole cast is like, it's so fun getting to see them all and getting to like get all these disparate people in there. Like most of the Clone Wars cast are here. You've got a few Matt Sloan is the other one I wanted to mention, because he's kept doing the voice. It's so mad that he basically was doing a little YouTube show, like Chad Vader and stuff, and then he winds up doing The Force Unleashed, and now he's like one of the comedy voice for Vader. Like, I mean, it's not a thing that happened in these seasons, but I love in the Lego Holiday Special where he's like complaining about Kylo Ren's mask not being original, and Palpatine goes, "Nobody asked you," and he just goes, oh. like this, that's like one of the funniest Darth Vader jokes I've ever seen. Just the
yeah. You've got Shelby Young is still voicing Leia here. She's in
Shelby Young.
All of these, like the cast is stacked. Alan Tudyk coming back for K2, being an evil bastard in this one.
You are being destroyed. Yeah, and like the giant K2SO fighting the giant Chewie, that was cool.
Here's my one thing. And I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed this more this time than any of the other Lego specials. And maybe if I go back and watch them, I'll feel a little bit different and I'll notice it too. But I kept noticing that they focused, especially in the first couple of episodes, they focused on a lot of ships that recently had a Lego set come out. And I'm like, we love that synergistic marketing.
We only had the Dark Falcon really from this era to use in that first season, but like there's a few more here, and like the whole. I mean, they make a whole episode set aboard the freaking new Death Star set. I mean, they
the new Death Star,
and
they cut to it and show the set. They had the one, I don't remember the name of the ship, the Republic drop ship. They had that show up. They had the ATT Walker show up. They had one of the other ones that recently had a set show up. I'm like, and of course also the K2 is a new set that just dropped. Yep, the Force Burner looks sick. I think I need to pick that up. Like that does.
Oh yeah,
sick.
that looks cool.
And
also, since we're talking voice cast, I've got to add one more person on there because I didn't mention Michael Cusack, and the fact that he is Servo, the Gonk droid. He's hilarious. Like he's
got a love interest in this now. He's
voiced by Jennifer Hale. Voiced by Jennifer Hale.
So
like
cool.
It's brilliant. But like it's just so like the idea of like the little blue guy from Smiling Friends being in a child-friendly Lego series for Star Wars is so weird. I love Lego Star Wars.
Like you had Tony Hale in the Halloween one, and then you watch him in Harley Quinn, and it's just completely different. But then he's also in Toy Story 4. So I mean, the range of these actors is great. And then Tony Revolori is in Wes Anderson movies, and then is Darth Dev in these is great. But I want to focus more on Solotus. The fact that they gave him the backstory of also that being Jedi Bob's master, I thought was great. Having the conflict of Jedi Bob going against his old master, and also like Dev wanting to be his student, but him pushing him away because he won't trust Dev. And then you had at the end of episode 3, pretty much just the Thanos winning Infinity War moment where Solotus just wins and the galaxy is nothing. And then it literally cuts to like beginning of episode 4, like Thanos' like little shack from the end of Infinity War, just him and Dev just looking out into nothing.
Yeah, it's just like in the middle of nowhere, like a salt lake area, and he's basically just got like a little mansion.
But I want to quickly talk about some of my favorite parts of this, of like just the wackiness of this world. Cloud City being a snow planet, I thought was great. Maul and Queel running it was another fun one. And then I talked about it in the archives, but Queen Pirate Padme is my favorite thing, because I knew she was going to be in this. I'm like, when is Padme showing up? And then they cut to Naboo, and then they see her pirate crew, and it's so freaking cool. I instantly fell in love with this 3PO in there. Arg, R2D2 was
R2D2. That's a great pun.
I lost it, man.
See, do you know what I lost it at when during that whole segment? The freaking Snoke pit with all the little feral Snokes like coming out.
That might have been my favorite joke in the whole special.
Who is
this
Snoke?
Is even worse
it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Like, oh dear, poor Snoke, man.
Snoke.
I'd say I feel bad for Andy Serkis, but then Andor has come along and like given him a fantastic character. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Oh man, that was so fun. And then the final ending battle with the big Chewie coming back, fighting the big K2. I love that all these characters got to like have a little part. You had the Sith coming together with the Jedi characters, and then having that brief moment at the end, like maybe we are following the wrong path, and they're like, nah. You had Jar Jar come back with the Maul spider legs.
Oh my god, that was great.
Because one of the characters, I don't remember who it was, had the line of like, "Oh, I'm sure this is going to go off without a hitch, and nothing suspicious is going to happen. No one's going to show up." And then you see someone crawl with the spider legs. I'm like, "Who is this going to be?" And then of course, and I was like, Ahmed Best hasn't shown up yet. And then of course it's Darth Jar Jar. I was like, "Oh my god, that's perfect." But again, I am like,
is Darth Dev incidentally?
Darth Dev. Did he come with the Dark Falcon?
Yeah, no, he comes with the Dark Falcon. I believe you get Bounty Hunter 3 now Pirate 3PO as well.
Shiver me timbers.
And I believe you also get, I believe, Darth Rey. I can't find it currently. Oh no, I think here she is. There we go. I'm just gonna grab her quickly. Here she is. There's Darth Rey. Is our Sith Queen.
Oh
yes.
Man.
You mentioned the Darksiders. I don't know if they're going to do another one, given that the main conflict with Dev and Sig has kind of been resolved now. But I actually think there is a thing you could do, maybe in just kind of a meta way with the third series, because I don't think this is intentional necessarily on the part of the writers and stuff. But I think it's interesting that like a bunch of the principal like Sith in this reality are all characters who have been hated by a toxic section of the fan base. Like, you know, you've got Jar Jar. Yeah, you got Nubs. You got Nubs. You got Jar Jar, Rose, and Rey. And I think
Jin has weirdly had a lot of hate post Andor season 2, which I don't like. Tony Gilroy kind of didn't help with a lot of that, but like that's another one that you can add into there.
You could kind of like build off of that and talk about and maybe do something about you know, maybe deal with like their backstories and how they felt rejected in a certain way because of the way this galaxy sort of behaved. I don't know. It'd be interesting to kind of delve into that for like a third season. But you know, if this was like the end of these like Lego series, I would be happy with it because it's nice that it ties everything up really, really well. You've got all of this like creativity involved with the Lego building and stuff. I think I love that it kind of taps into what we've been kind of like getting with the Lego films, like the Lego movie, its sequel, the Lego Batman film, which I so miss that they don't make those anymore. Like each of them were like really like super creative with the visuals.
Switched or something, and that's why there hasn't been any. But I love that like the light side represents creation and the dark side represents breaking. And that combines, and you have a force dyad show up between Sig and Dev.
Yeah, and then they tossed out like a phrase like a force myriad, which is interesting. You know, you can feel like some people in the Lucasfilm story group going, "Ooh, I'll have that."
Hold on a second.
I'll have that. I'll have this. This sounds
we
good.
have seen that like certain tidbits of these Lego specials have been incorporated into the canon. Like I feel like Jedi Finn was done in the first one and the third one for a reason. I think they're going to touch on that eventually. And
it's interesting that they put Revan in here. Like
you had Kenobi call Finn a Jedi in the third one. So I feel like it's teasing Revan. And then freaking he says Mara. And I was like, is that a fucking Mara Jade reference? Weeks ago.
She's going to message. Okay, this is another reason to do the third one. Yeah.
Like
this is why they're going to do a third one.
When the Revan clip came out, and I was like, you know, maybe this is like a soft launch for Revan being in here, because I feel like they wouldn't use him without them having like some tidbit of a plan in here. Like, you're not just going to see Mara Jade show up in this. And then they say Mara, and I was like, is she fucking showing up? And then I was looking into the background characters.
3 reveal.
Yeah, I was looking in the background characters because I see Neil, and there was someone here. I'm like, is that Margie? Because it didn't look like Fern, and I was like, is that Margie?
Little Lego Neil? Oh,
there was someone. It was probably just a background character, but her hair looked like Sigourney Weaver in the Mando and Grogu trailer. I'm like, is this a little Easter egg for the movie that we don't know about yet? Oh, speaking of Mando, the Mandalorian baby.
The baby's name is Grogu, baby. Billy D. Williams.
No, he had so much fun recording that.
Yeah. And then he whipped out the dark saber, and I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm so disappointed that thing got busted." I wish he still had it, but he's got the pulse rifle, so like I said, that's cool.
So yeah, overall, this was just a ton of fun. And again, whether we get another Rebuild the Galaxy or just something else, I always look forward to these Lego yearly specials. When we didn't have one in 2023, I just felt like something was missing because they're always something to look forward to. And they're not always my favorite. Like, I haven't gone back and rewatched quite a few of them. And Rebuild the Galaxy Season 1, I was kind of lukewarm on until the end when I turned around on it. But I thought the characterization was much stronger in this season. The creativity with what we got with the out of the box creations from this galaxy, I thought was much funnier here. Having the brickheads show up and the giant Lego versions of characters was cool. And again, just having that villain connect the dots with everything and really add to the central themes here that aren't uncommon for canon Star Wars stories these days was really refreshing, and I just think made this special so much more entertaining. Was the fact that we had Dan Stevens in the role, and we had that compelling character, and we had him have that connection to our existing characters we know. And again, I just had a lot of fun with it, and it's just something you can turn on. It was a fast watch. I watched it all in one sitting, which was not what I did for the first season, but it's only 4 episodes. They're only 22 minutes a pop. So if you haven't watched it yet,
and it's so brisk.
Yeah. One, I mean, if you haven't watched it yet, you just watched an entire spoiler review. So, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But 2, I definitely recommend checking this out when you can, because it's a ton of fun. But
the thing I would like to add on,
I gotta get going.
Oh yeah, the thing I will just simply say is that if this had come out when I was a kid, I would building my Star Wars, like I said, I would have ate it up. I mean, simply the episode 3, the episode 2 little title thing where the old Lego Star Wars logo flashed up.
So awesome.
That was so awesome. The nostalgia just flooded my brain. I was like, oh my God, so many memories of building Lego Star Wars sets with my mom and dad, and just delving deeper into that world, and expanding my love of Lego through that franchise. It was just lovely thing. I really enjoyed this series.
Yeah, all the signs of a good second series is when things you were lukewarm on in the first season are greatly improved upon in the second one. And that was the case with me with characters I wasn't huge on. I like way more in this one. The style I was way more on, because I'm very iffy on what if stories. I was way more into it this time around. The animation was fun. I did love how certain scenes with the Dark Falcon, it turned into a microfighter version of it, just depending on how wild we are. Yeah. I just thought it was really creative use of the license, even if I was I see what you're doing here, but it's a Lego special. You got to sell toys. I get it. I mean,
I'll say it.
Fun way to do it.
I'll say it. I had more fun with this than I did with the Marvel What If show. I'll say it.
I don't want to talk about that show. That's another rant. Thank you for joining us for episode 99 of For the Republic. Next episode, it's the big one. The big 100. Hold on. Where is it? There.
99, eh? Huh. Nice touch.
All right. One last time before we get going. So next episode is the big one. Don't know what we got planned yet. I know we have the Zillow Beast arc to discuss. I don't know if that's going to be the episode or not, if we're going to do something else for the 100th episode, but stay tuned. We got a lot coming here. And of course, Vision's coming at the end of October as well. Real quickly, Donovan, where can everyone find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Donovan Mead, TikTok at Donovan McComish, Instagram and Threads at Donovan_McComish, and Blue Sky you can find me at DonovanMcComish.bsky.social. I also have written a Star Wars fan story out there in the wilderness called Scars of War, which if you like Star Wars and pain, definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun to write.
All right. As for myself, all socials at Starlight Andrew. You can follow the pod on Twitter at For the Repub Pod, and on Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at For the Republic Pod. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, and on YouTube, For the Republic Podcast. Thank you again so much for helping us reach our goal. It's just the beginning, folks. Thank you for journeying through Star Wars with us together. We're not stopping anytime soon. So join us next time for the big 100, and until next time, take care, and may the Force be with you.